is turning, is NewsMax foreign policy analyst, foreign policy advisor for Donald Trump and co-host of the War and Freedom podcast. That's Waleed Faris. Plus, you have the Senate chairman of the National Iranian Congress, Amir Fakhravar. So let me start with you, Amir. Trump said that there would be hell to pay unless there was a hostage released by the time he was sworn in. Does he get total credit, or does he get a lot of credit, I would say, for this deal? And what do you think of the deal?
Thank you for having me. It's 100% of the credit goes to President Trump. If it wanted to go to anybody else, since October 7, they had time at the White House to do something. But right now, Hamas is afraid. Iranian regime is afraid because Hamas, they are just minions of Iranian supreme leader. And they are paid by Iranian supreme leader. They are afraid that President Trump is coming, and everything they are doing is based on that. They know in 2 days it's the new sheriff in town, and they know, as he said, he is going to just make hell out of them. And then, that's the reason it happened. But still, we should be careful, and Trump administration definitely should not even think about going to have negotiation with Iranian regime. They should just destroy that regime.
Waleed, what's your reaction to the ceasefire and the agreement? Does this strengthen Hamas in the long run? Does it let them get away with what they did October 7th and holding the hostages? Or is this like the only way we're going to get them back?
It's both, Rob. Let me take all of us into the camp of Hamas and see what they are thinking. What is their plan? It's very clear that Hamas and behind them the Islamic regime in Iran, because it's all regional here, and the remnants of Hezbollah, what they want is to gain time. Because if they don't have that time, Israel over the previous months has been able to dismantle almost 80% of Hamas infrastructure in Gaza, and they were about to completely vanish. The Biden administration was threatening the Israelis for 2 years, ceasefire, or else we'll pressure you, etc., etc. President Trump comes in and say, okay, let's remove from this equation what is a painful situation for Israel on the strategic level, who are the hostages. So the Israelis calculated that at the end of the day, it's not good to have Hamas re-expand southbound and take more areas, but it's good to remove the hostage situation from that equation. Why? Because Hamas on the medium and long term have no territorial land communication with Iran, meaning with the regime. They're not going to get, reloaded. They're not going to be trained. They are just stuck in Gaza. Yes, it's going to be a higher price for the Israelis. If Hamas does not deliver, or is rearming, for the Israelis to go and get them out. That's true. But the Israelis have factored that in. They realize that their people need the hostage to be out, even over weeks and maybe months, for them to have this national unity on the inside to go back and then destroy the jihadi organizations.
Some big news, I'm sure you both saw this, right, in the Middle East last night with the 2 Iranian Supreme Court judges who were killed in a suicide attack, and that happened at Tehran's judicial palace. Amir, what are you making of this?
You know what? I know these 2 bloodthirsty judges in person. The Ghazi Moghise, Judge Moghise, was judge of my sister, who gave prison time to my sister, Mahla Fakhravar. And also the entire our family, we have been dealing, and a lot of people. These 2 judges, they signed execution order, at least for 10,000 Iranian political prisoners. And the thing happened in Iran a couple of hours ago is that shows the Iranian people how much they are happy to see President Trump is coming and how much they are ready for the next chapter of their life. And it's a partisan, the Iranian partisans, the guerrilla is fighting with this regime. You will hear a lot more of this type of attack. The person who planned this attack, killed those judges, and then killed himself, is a true patriot, the Iranian patriot, who wanted to see Iran free and democratic. And this is the only way to destroy this regime, to fight the guerrilla fight inside the country with the Iranian mullahs, and outside to have the help of Israeli army and President Trump's support can finally bring down the regime of mullahs after 46 years. This is the time, and we all are waiting, 100 million Iranians. We are waiting to see President Trump in office in 2 days to come and help us.
So, Walid, how should Donald Trump deal with Iran?
Well, first of all, just to add on what Amir has said, these are not normal judges, members of Supreme Courts or highest courts in France, etc. These are individuals who have been appointed by the regime to crush the opposition inside Iran, to instill fear in the hearts of the population. These are basically candidates for a Nuremberg trial, meaning at the end of the war, World War II, and the Nazi courts or the Bolshevik courts who have killed so many. Now, at one point, the popular base in Iran cannot take all that oppression, all that execution, these executions, the killing of women, the torture of women. So this is an outburst. And I believe that if we do not help the Iranian people, and that's where the Trump administration has a major role, if we don't help them, we're going to see a lot of bloody stuff happening in Iran. It's not going to be happy for the regime. For the Trump administration, I have already, as of September, suggested in the open, President Trump can and should do what Reagan has done, address the Iranian people directly from the Oval Office, in Farsi translated if possible. That would change everything. We don't need to do anything inside Iran ourselves unless the Islamic regime is attacking us. There are 100 million, let's say 70 million are against the regime. So what the U.S. president would do and should do, and I think he will do at one point, is to tell them, we heard you, we are with you.
Walid, Amir, great to have you both. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that cold weather is